Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I am very pleased to let you know that for breakfast, it's back, y'all. It has returned and I am so excited for this. This has been something that I have been on a kick for maybe the entirety of the time that I've been vegan, and it was only recently where I stopped having it and I switched it up to like a butter and jam combo or a cream cheese and jam combo, but it's back. It is the tofu egg salad that I have on my blog, by the way, theconsciousrootnyc, and it's just on some toast. Let me take a bite. By the way, if you're hearing some random like shifting in the background, it's Logan. He's having his breakfast as well. I've been actually waking up a little bit early just to give myself a little bit of extra time in the morning to myself, to have a little bit of a no screen morning routine. So I'm actually going to have my toast while I read a book. I am currently reading How the One-Armed Sister Sweeps Her House by Sherry Jones. And yeah, if you want to hear more about my morning routine, I have that over on my other main channel, Slow Morning Diaries, which is always linked in the description box as well. I am going to enjoy this toast while I read a few pages. I have my water, big cup of water as usual, and then I have my vitamins. I get my vitamins from Care Of. And I also wanted to mention about the toast, by the way. The reason why I went back to the toast wasn't because I was kind of craving it, but it was more so because I started to notice that I was feeling a lot hungrier throughout the days, and I was feeling that way for weeks. And a couple of people actually commented on my videos saying, one, maybe I'm not getting enough protein for the start of the day. And I think someone else said that when you eat like a lot of sweets or more sugary things, you start to get hungrier. I don't know which one is true or not, but I figured like, okay, well, tofu has quite a bit of protein, so let me bring that back. So that was partially because of you guys commenting on my videos. So thank you so much for those who left your thoughts and stuff like that. I am not getting rid of the vegan butter and the jam combo. I'll probably reserve that for the weekends, because I definitely eat more on the weekends. Hello again, I am having my green drink today. I took a break from my green drink last week for like an entire week. By the way, this is the green drink. I've mentioned this many times. But I took a break from it last week and I noticed a difference in just my body and my digestion and all of that fun stuff. So I will say that this stuff is kind of necessary for me. And taking that week-long break made me realize that it really does wonders for me in terms of gut health. And I've mentioned this before, but I do have a lot of digestive problems, and I always have since like I was a kid. So back on my green drink, long story short, I'm just mixing it up right now. Mixed that up. I'm going to add in some almond malk. They didn't have the oat when I went to the grocery store, so I'm just going with almond. The final step that makes this taste really great, just a little bit of vanilla syrup. This one is sugar-free vanilla syrup. And that's my green drink. Pretty dang good, we'll say. Hello again, friends. It is lunchtime. Very excited for lunch. I feel like I say that so many times, but every time it is time to eat, I just get so excited. So I have some leftovers yet again for lunch. Let me explain what this looks like, because I'm sure it looks confusing. It is basically takeout from a spot in New York. So I did visit New York over the weekend, and I was in my hometown, which is Queens, and this spot where I got this from, it's like an OG New York City vegan spot. It's been around for decades. It's been around since I was a kid. I used to walk over to this place when I was younger because, again, it's in my hometown. And the place is called Veggie Castle. I'm sure you have seen photos of Veggie Castle on Instagram if you have ever looked up like New York vegan spots on Instagram. They just make the best platters. You go into this spot and it's essentially like a hot bar, and you tell them all of the different dishes that you want. You can get a size small, medium, or large. And then, yeah, they load it up. They load it up with whatever you want. So I have leftovers. This is all that I have left over from the plate that I ordered on the weekend, which was like 3 times larger than this. So obviously, you know, I took my time eating that platter. And what I have left over is basically chickpea curry. From my background and my country, we call it chana. And so this is basically just chana curry. And that was all that was left over from the platter. I just ended up making some brown rice on the side so that I can eat it all together because the chana alone was gonna be too little. What I love about this place is that it's very, very like close to home. Not literally in a sense that it's, you know, walking distance of where I lived my entire life when I was younger, but also a lot of the dishes are made in a style that is the same as like my background, which if you didn't know, I am Guyanese American. This chana curry is not the same kind of chana curry that you would get from an Indian restaurant. This tastes exactly like how my mom used to make it. It's so good. I'll give you a close-up. It's just loaded with so much flavor. I don't know how to replicate this dish. I should really ask my mom how she makes it because it has a distinct taste that is very specific to the region where my family is from. It's so flavorful and it's not like Indian curry. It's something else. There's something else in there and I have no idea what it is, but it's so freaking good. And of course, pairing it with rice is just like the quintessential kind of meal. I'm going to eat this up. I'll check back in with you a little bit later. This is a judgment-free zone, okay? That goes for on both ends. So don't judge me when I say that I'm literally having a tiny tortilla with vegan cheese. Just that's it. Hello again, friends. It is time to tell you all about dinner. Very excited to be making this recipe because I've actually made it before and I know it's gonna taste really good. I have a feeling this is one of Ian's favorites now. He keeps mentioning this recipe and I can just tell that he is a fan. So I'm glad whenever I can make something he's a fan of. I'm going to be making an orecchiette pasta with vegan sausage, tomatoes, and white beans. This recipe actually comes from The Kitchn, which is a show that we watch so often. It's on Food Network, and it's a recipe by Katie Lee Beagle, who is on the show, and we just pretty much veganized it, and her recipes are really easy to veganize because she uses a lot of plant-based ingredients to begin with. So I have the orecchiette, which we actually got a little fancy, and we got some fresh pasta. It's from Whole Foods, but it was from the fresh pasta section. There it is. And I'm very excited about fresh pasta. I love pasta, so it's gotta be really good, especially because it's fresh. The tomatoes that we went with are a medley of cherry tomatoes. I think her recipe calls for the smaller variety, so that's why we went with them. And they taste really good when you cook them up, which you'll see by the end of this what it looks like once I put all of these ingredients together. The sausage that I went with is from Tofurkey. It is the original sausage beer brats. I'm now realizing that it says beer brats. I don't know if that's gonna affect the recipe as a whole, but I went with something that was original and something that's not too oily. So yeah, hopefully this works out, but it looks really good. So that's the sausage, and then the beans that we're going with are these cannellini beans. These are so rich and buttery feeling to me. They just have a great texture. So yeah, basically just going to be cooking all of these things together. I can't recall the recipe off the top of my head, but I don't think that this recipe comes with a sauce. I'm shifting a lot because I'm squatting basically to talk to you, but I think this recipe doesn't actually have a sauce that goes with it. You use kind of a bit of pasta water to break down the tomatoes, and then it becomes a sauce almost. I think it's gonna be refreshing in a way that it doesn't have like a thick sauce. So very excited to be making this. This recipe always turns out to be super flavorful. Like I said, it's from The Kitchn, and I just veganize it by using vegan sausage, and that's pretty much it. And you are going to be seeing what it looks like right now, what it turns out to be. I am sure this fresh pasta is going to take this recipe to another level, which I'm super, super excited about. But yeah, that is all for this week's video. Thank you so, so much for being here. Thank you so much for the love that you've been sharing with me on my past few videos. I will talk to you in next week's video.